excited about in the second season?
I think that the second season is very action-packed. I think that, Raven and Clayton Barber, our stunt coordinator, they took the time to really focus on making sure that the fights are outstanding.
What's up, gang?
Hey. We kind of just jumped in.
Yeah. We
Jump in away.
Moved on.
Yeah.
They're asking, what am I excited about and looking forward to in season 2?
Well, you can certainly answer that question.
Yeah. But then also
Dallas
joining this team. The cast is all great. We got a chance to work together in the Defenders, and so to be able to come and cross over into this world is just a lot of fun.
Hello.
Do you want to wait? We'll get to it. You with us? Yes.
I'm with you. We've
What about
interrupted you
you?
about 17 times.
I'm good. I was done.
Did you finish?
He actually answered. It was a wonderful answer. I also, can I please do that? Thanks. It keeps falling off.
Hi guys.
Hello.
How are you? Nice to meet you all.
Alice Eve has joined us.
Am I welcome?
Yes.
Okay, good.
So we were talking about what you guys are very excited about going into the next season.
For me, it's fighting. I didn't ever fight, and I was put in a position where I got to learn a whole arsenal of moves, and really, which required immense discipline. So the whole journey for me with Clayton was one of learning that discipline can lead to results, which is actually a message I want to get across. Like, certainly to women for self-defense and everything, you can get to a position where you feel more confident at night, and I feel like that happened to me, and that was a great gift for my life.
Do you think the fight training that you guys have had, has that then helped inform your characters? Because you were talking about the confidence that you build from doing that training.
Physically.
Has that changed how you approach your characters, or just influenced how you approached your characters?
I mean,
You had already established yours, but
Right, but in Luke season 2, I think that, we had a lot of fun watching Misty just get into her power physically, something that we didn't see in season 1. And I think that in Iron Fist season 2, we get to see her not be as strong and confident, which I think is interesting.
I still found you pretty strong.
Interesting thing to explore. I think that we take for granted the idea of, who Misty is. Everyone's like, oh, she's strong, she's confident, she's badass. You get to watch her get to see her get knocked around a lot.
yeah, we saw it in those clips last night.
Yeah. So it's a different dynamic and something that's
You get
creatively, eventually.
Yes.
I think one of the things that is pure Marvel is that it's always interesting what our characters can do physically, whether it's that they're bulletproof or whether it is that they are masters of the machete, or whether it is that they've got a bionic arm. But none of that matters unless you care about who Misty is, unless you care about who Mary is. And I think that's what both Raven and the writers have successfully done for this season for all of our characters, is that it's always much more interesting the person behind the mask than the mask. The mask is the gift. It's the icing on the cake. It's the marvel of it. But if you don't care about either one of the people that are sitting here, then we're just telling a story about people jumping around. And that's not what we do. I mean, what's so lovely about this season is that Raven our showrunner, has told a story that really grounds where Danny is, how he starts out in a place where he has taken the opportunity to become a vigilante protector of the city, which was asked of him of Matt Murdock before Matt Murdock passed away. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Defenders. That's it. I did the worst thing.
No, I meant like they're bad.
Yes, exactly. That's also true. And so it gave us an opportunity to use a new environment that we hadn't been in. We were shooting in Chinatown, so there's a lot of really cool areas that are down there, and just a whole world that starts with Danny and then grows out to Colleen, and then eventually grows out to Misty and to Mary, and then Davos comes to town, and then it's a mess.
Was there a specific goal going into season to a place in the story that you wanted to achieve, or is it more just, organically following the character's growth?
Well, I mean, we tell every series in the hopes of telling the best story that we can. Raven wanted to tell this particular story, and adding Mary and adding Misty into it made that story much more rich. And I think they had fun doing it. And that's really the other thing that's important to us, is that while we're making it, that it's fun, and that while you're watching it, that it's fun.
Will we ever see what's going on with the Defenders during?
We had a large conversation between the television studio and the movie studio, and I've talked about this elsewhere, which is that our schedules are so different. When we make a show, we don't know what's going to happen when that movie is, and so for the most part, all of the shows that we're doing, and that includes Iron Fist, take place before what everyone's asking us, which is the final snap. And so the short answer is we will not be dealing with that at this time.
But possibly for the future, maybe.
Well, I think we have to see what happens after Avengers 4.
Okay.
Because,
What about the future of these series in general, like Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, past the current seasons? Are there more different characters being introduced, or maybe hopes to just keep renewing these characters?
Wouldn't that be great? I think what people need to understand is a television studio is beholden to the network. So the decision as to whether or not there's going to be an Iron Fist 3 is in the hands of Netflix. It's not in our hands. We don't get to get up in the middle of the night and go, we're going to go make this, and hope that someone puts it on the air. So it's certainly, if the reaction that people have had here at Comic-Con to the footage that we've seen, and you guys, I think, have been incredibly complimentary, that we certainly hope that we're going to be coming back.
Okay.
Alice, this new character, what excites you about this role?
Well, in life, one walks around with a face for that event, and whether that's, going out in public or whether it's being in private with your family, but you have various masks that we put on. I'm certainly hyper aware of mine. Like, this is not how I talk to my mom. And so that the ability which Marvel provides with its very clever hook of giving everyone an Achilles heel or a problem as well as a power, that wonderful kind of trope, allows you to investigate that syndrome like with real depth. And so to play someone that begins the show almost virginal, a character that has almost a sort of virginal innocence. And the way that DID works is within that structure, you protect oneself. And so there's another personality, as you know from the comics, Typhoid, that will protect the innocence. And then beyond that, there's someone who protects that. So that level of psychological investigation for me was what would fuel, my journey. And then they threw in the physical side of it too.
And what's fun is that, much in the same kind of way that when we met Misty for the first time, we hadn't already gotten to the place where she had lost her arm, and when we met Fisk for the first time, he was not yet the Kingpin, and so what we're getting out of the story this season is sort of the beginnings of Mary and her journey and
the origin
where that
story.
goes. Yes, in a certain way.
So the panel last night was like a whirlwind, because it was just like clip after clip after
That's
clip.
what we do.
Yeah.
We hope that when you come, you're coming for a show.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, was there like a strategy behind what clips you chose to show?
You're asking a magician how he does his
yes.
act. But look,
I'm actually more curious. Out of those clips, we saw a lot of great fight scenes. I can't imagine that you showed us all of them.
No, we actually showed you very little.
Would you say that what we saw is the best of?
No, I would say what you saw was a sample of how the show with Raven and with Marvel and with Clayton Barber, who came on board as our FARC coordinator, wanted to up that game, and I think we successfully did. But by no
there's-
means did you see.
So there's definitely some great stuff coming up for us. So.
I think that's very fair to
I
say.
think you're safe in that.
Yes.
All of that stuff was incredible. I wish Clayton was here to even talk about the fight choreography stuff, but I wonder how much training the ladies went through, actually.
Daily. I didn't have a day off. He was like, change your relationship with pain. I was like, I ended up in hospital. I won't say whose fault it was. No, it's daily for me. Yeah, it was endless. It was hard work. I had no life, but that's great. Like, because I got my life back at the end.
Is it anything you want to pursue continuously? now?
Absolutely. I plan to like incorporate that into my life. To be honest, it was like learning. I tried to learn piano. I tried to learn French. I tried to learn all the things they tell you to learn. Violin. I couldn't do any of them. And for a while, I couldn't do fighting. I think you'll attest. And then I came through and was like, actually, I can do this. And so I definitely would want to pursue that further in my life and my career, no doubt. Also, just showing strong women on screen in all capacities is just vital for changing the narrative. Because when I went to school, I was told that boys were stronger, and that was kind of a fact. And I'm not sure it's completely true, like what you said this morning about that girl who beat that guy up who touched her bum. You know?
Yeah.
What
He
about,
didn't expect that.
What about for you?
Well, you've been walking around New York arresting people. I think is what you've been doing.
Yes.
You got yourself a cop car and said, I can go out and do this.
Yeah, you know, I'd like to
Real
integrate
method.
that into my life. Stop.
Wouldn't either.
Flash my imaginary badge.
Our last question. Do you want to talk a little bit about like Misty and Colleen's relationship and maybe how that's progressing this season, or what you enjoyed about it?
You know, I think that both Jessica and I really tried to find, and Raven, we talked about this, about finding the levity within their relationship. You know, there's so much at stake when we see all of these characters. You've got Davos, you don't know what's going on with this Mary character. And so there is this heightened sense of urgency. But then
Kind of like
the
the
other,
panel.
Yeah, you would.
Right. And then the other part of it is, but who are we? And how do we handle stress? And I think that Colleen and Misty handle stress through humor. And so in the midst of the most death-defying situations, we're joking. And that, to me, is something that I think the fans are really going to enjoy and enjoy seeing blossom over the episodes.
Thanks very much.